The farm I grew up on was southeast of Hoyt Court, which was a homestead that Dad homesteaded after the First World War in 1919. He had to walk 50 miles beyond the railway, which ended at San Duda at that time, to get this homestead land where it was quiet. He wanted no more noise from the war. Well, it was quite a bit then. It was $10 a quarter. But when he proved he wanted to be a farmer by clearing 10 acres and putting it to crop and building a house on it, then the government would give him a soldier grant, which was another quarter for free. So this made him a half section for $10. And Dad stayed on that original homestead for 72 years. Well, I started pretty young because Dad farmed with horses all the time, and from the time I was big enough to follow him behind a walking plow, I was out with Dad plowing land. So probably 3 years old is the youngest I can remember being out. And of course, there was always a horse you could ride if you played out too much. You just take you and sit you on a horse, and away you went again.
Our farm was in Wildwood, Alberta. We had about 360 acres, and we rented probably another about 4 or 5 quarters that we used to run cattle on, and we used to have like 200 or 300 geese, and we had a cabbage patch that was about 7.5 acres that we had to hoe by hand, and then spray and do all the weeding and all that stuff. And yeah, we had a nice river that ran through it and stuff, so we spent a lot of time hunting and trapping, and yeah, I used to sell furs and all kinds of fun stuff there. So. Oh yeah, horses. We had, I used to actually rake hay with horses. We had a team of horses that we used to use in the summertime for making up hay, and in the wintertime we wouldn't start a tractor. We just used the horses to pull the round bales out to the feeders, and yeah, used to get on the horse and clamp on the bale and clamber up and let the horses pull the bale, and then we'd ride the bale out to the feeders, and then of course take them off, and yeah, it was good. It was lots of fun.
I just want you to know that this is 80 years ago, so most of you won't be too familiar with it. The farm that I grew up on was out by Westlock, and that's about 50 miles or so north of St. Albert. We had a mixed farm, and it was right at the Depression, which some of your great-grandfathers may know something about. But I was born just at the beginning of that particular time, and everybody around us was poor, as well as us. But my dad owned a farm, so we always had lots to eat, and it was always good stuff, vegetables, and we grew chickens and beef cattle and dairy cattle and sheep, and so we always had plenty to eat. It was a difficult time for a lot of people because there was really not very much money around. We didn't go and buy Christmas presents like you do today because we were 10 miles from town and we had no money anyway. So that didn't work too well. But it was a happy time. I never even thought about it being poor because that's the way everybody else was. So it was just one of the community. And so growing up on a farm, I enjoyed, and never had any misgivings.